The Forest of Hands and Teeth. Dope title. Let's begin. Blam! So, The Forest of Hands and Teeth. What is it about? Well, it tackles something that I have a bit of a hate-love situation with. And that is zombies. Yes, this genre again. It has been done to death, and there is no room for creativity with it. That's the biggest problem that I have with this whole genre of zombies. It's been done in anime, TV, movies, books, music. There isn't a genre that hasn't touched on the whole zombie thing. And you will have a hard time to find something that is creative, new, and kind of interesting. And this book, which is a zombie book, did not do anything interesting or new. So I'm just gonna give you point by point the book, the beginning, middle, and end. And if you want to just fast forward and just see what's my final tally at the end, it's cool. It begins in this kind of a compound village where the area surrounding the village is kind of like fences, big and large fences, and the people inside this village have adapted to it, and then over time they kind of forgot their history and they kind of live in this 16th century, 18th century vibe thing going on with hunters and gatherers, and my wife is given to me by the church and all that stuff. And it is interesting, this whole thing, but I was kind of wondering, like, really? Like, how many years did it pass since this whole thing began? Because relatively speaking, it would take people longer than 100 years to forget about electricity or about, I don't know, clean water, phones, cars, helicopters, satellites. I mean, these are things you would tell your children. So I didn't understand why they didn't reference this whole thing. The characters in this book seemed baffled every time they come into contact with something from the old world, like buildings or TVs or whatever. They always like, what is this mysterious thing that is before me? And it's kind of like, do you really not know? Has it been that long? And that's kind of a weird thing because they didn't really specify how long has it been. I mean, they may have mentioned it, but honestly the writing was kind of a in and out thing, so I really couldn't focus on it too much. But they didn't really mention it like, yeah, it's been this amount of years and this has passed and this happened. It was kind of vague. So back to the village, you have the main character, this girl. She is meant to marry someone, and her brother is kind of like this warrior thing. And you are introduced into this world where the forest, the actual forests of Hands and Teeth, which is again a dope name, but I didn't live up to the whole thing. This forest, if you go near it, you will be attacked or whatever. And you have people in this forest that go out from the village. They go out from the village to the forest to find new things, you know, scouts basically, to kill the hordes of zombies over and over again. And her father died, so her mother kind of went to the cage looking for him, hoping he would show up. And apparently this happens a lot, to a point of, if you see your family member at the other end of the cage, you would go insane and start hurting yourself or others. And it makes sense, because if you saw someone you love turned into this monster, you would lose your mind. And that kind of was interesting. And so, yada yada yada. The mother gets bit because she went so close to touch her husband. She gets bit, they throw her back into the wilderness. There's a touching scene there. She's like, Mom, don't, bye. See ya. Doses. I ain't going back. And all that stuff. And yeah, it follows this whole ceremony. She needs to get married because she needs to be honorable. It's pretty much seen that, done that. Then there's this girl introduced, which is survivalist, survivor? One of those, that came from the outside, and everyone is like, no one can survive the forest. And this girl is dressed in like in a red coat, and it's kind of dope and puffy and all that stuff. And of course the main character is like, yeah, I really want to know more about her. So she meets her, and she really doesn't talk so much with her, but she knows that this girl exists, and if she exists, then the church has been lying to them. And it's very slow paced in the beginning. It makes you feel like you would be centered around this village for a very, very, very long time. But you're not really. You're just there for a couple of chapters. And it builds up the whole village, which sucked because it kind of built up this whole area for the first half of the book, and it destroyed it, like, almost immediately. And it comes out to this ceremony where they're, like, supposed to get married. It's, like, reluctant, and she's like, no, I don't want to get married, but I don't want to embarrass my family, but I kind of like this guy. It's a lot of tropes about romantic comedies in it. You know, it's like, oh my god, he's so beautiful, but I really can't do it with him, but he's so dreamy. And it's kind of like, this is a zombie book, right? Can I see the gore, the horror, the fear, this intensity anywhere in this book? No, you don't. Cut to this celebration thing, and surprise, surprise, the zombie attack, but they're new kind of zombies, fast, powerful, and they can rip out someone's neck like in 2 seconds flat, but because they're fast, they kind of destroy themselves in the process, which is kind of interesting. And this new form of zombie is actually the girl with the puffy shirt, you know, jacket, and they are able to run to this forbidden place to go to, which is kind of like I'm guessing the cage, like the walls that protects them, is like fences, you know, prison fences, where there's like barbed wire on this side and barbed wire on this side, and there's like a small space in between. Yeah, it's kind of like that, from the description, I guess. And from there, they kind of travel. Now, to keep up with the whole thing, these are the survivors from this whole thing. Everyone in the village died, like immediately died, and they're supposed to be warriors, which didn't make sense, because if I am growing up next to literal monsters, each and every one is gonna be like strapped to the hilt. I mean, there would be no weaklings. I would be like Valhalla everywhere, you know, Viking style, like even the children fight for Valhalla. But these villagers kind of died very quickly, and it's kind of like, you didn't see that coming? I mean, okay. That was weird. So the survivors is the main girl, her brother, his wife, and a girl she hates or dislikes because they used to be friends, but now they're not friends. Her husband, which the main girl likes, and the main girl's husband, which her friend likes, which is kind of like a crisscross thing, you know, just to keep it fresh in your mind. 2 girls, 2 boys, but this girl wants this guy, this girl wants this guy, but these 2 are together. And that's it. That's the whole thing. So they go on a journey. The brother's wife is pregnant, I guess, and that's it. That's the main part of the book. Honest to God, I'm not even exaggerating. The first half stays in this whole compound village thing, and the second half is in this corridor filled with boring conversation. Just talking, and not really interesting conversations. Nothing deep or provoking or just like, oh my god, I haven't seen this world in this way. No, it's just, oh my god, you stole my love. And she's like, no, you stole my love. And the brother's like, both of you needs to shut up because my wife is gonna die if she doesn't get help. And we're hungry and starving. The whole trope about the zombie thing, the main reason I hate it, it's so basic. It is like the beginning for every writer, every book, every movie that doesn't have any personality, doesn't have any vision. It's kind of like, give me an idea. It's zombies, okay? And they're running, cool. Surviving, cool. and they're struggling to find food and shelter. It's the same trope. It doesn't change. It doesn't add anything else to it. The only like thing that I saw done differently with this whole zombie thing is Zombieland, and because it made it fun. It made the whole world fun to be in because it's zombies, but still, come on, you get to kill, you get to survive, you get to enjoy life. No cops, no world outside. You have fun with it. But this is just another generic zombie book. It didn't really give me anything, and the whole name kind of really drew me in, but didn't deliver anything. And the whole like drama between them, I was like pissed off. Like, just swing with each other. What's the big deal? I mean, I mean, there's no families. I mean, your brother is there. I know it's gonna be weird, but you can tell him, hey, could you hold on here while we do our thing over there? And that's it. Honestly, I don't get it because everyone knows. It's like, yeah, I don't like this girl. And the other guy's like, yeah, I don't like the girl I'm in. But I like your girl. And the other guy's like, yeah, I like your girl too. And the girls are like, yeah, I don't like this guy. And the other girl's like, yeah, I don't like this guy either. But I like your guy. I like your guy too. So yeah, we hate each other. What? They only introduced this whole switch so they can have this conversation, which was boring and nothing really interesting. At the very end, they go into this like abandoned city and they try to survive there. They have like one scene where it's effed up, where there's like a baby crip and this like baby died, I guess, or turned into a zombie or something. And they just climb up to the top of the buildings. Oh, there's more zombies in here than we expected. We must go back to the fences. They go back to the fences. They lose a couple of guys or a girl. Honestly, I can't remember because I was really tuning out at that point. Didn't really hold my interest. It didn't really drag me. I was like, yeah, man, I gotta find a solution with them. I was like, could you die? I am very bored. Yeah, I was very Roman Colosseum at that point. I was like, throw them to the lions! It's effed up, but I'm a human being, so F you. You know? So yeah, it didn't really give me anything. It was just a village, hallway, another village, then hallway again. That's the whole story. That's the whole thing. And a lot of bullshit in between. That's it. So The Forest of Hands and Teeth, I would say I will not recommend this book because honestly it's not really a good book. It's not even worth just passing the time. It's not really anything. It's just okay. Man, I've been reviewing a lot of bad books lately. Maybe I'm too judgy. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. If you don't believe me, you can always read the book and come back to this page and say, no, you were wrong. It's okay. I'm just saying what it is, and it's not really that interesting. It's just... If you've seen any zombie movies, any zombie TV show, you can tell where this story goes. It's not really anything new. And even this fast zombies that are introduced, they're not really there that much. So yeah, thanks for watching and goodbye.